Hello, my name is Emerio Mendez, and this is my presentation for my homework assignment on future library trends at the University of South Florida, LIS 5020 course, Foundations of Library and Information Science. I will be discussing two future topics, so I picked virtual reality and robots. So let me get to it. So I think that robots will be used in the near future for routine manual labor and general research information requests, either in person or over the phone. This will likely displace library professional staff. I think the librarian role will change into being a teacher and a facilitator. So, librarians will continue to teach library users and the public on how to use these platforms and their software systems in order to ensure equity of access and democracy for the communities being served. Librarians will likely be teaching community leaders. I see these robots being used in a variety of settings. So, librarians will be teaching, for example, lawyers, teachers, engineers, doctors, veterinarians, how to use their robot and how to use their particular software that might be different because the needs of their business or of their users are different. So, as a result, librarians, like in the past, will continue to be a jack of all trades in terms of having some general knowledge of multiple versions of software of this future robot. Some of the pros for using these robots, this will be great for digital natives, for young adults that prefer interacting with technology and having some sense of control and independence. This will ensure that answers and requests are fulfilled faster. So, this is in alignment with the instant gratification culture that we're growing accustomed to. This will also create a leaner workforce, which will save taxpayer money. Another pro is that this will create structure and a uniform service standard in public and academic libraries in the profession that library users will enjoy and also grow to expect. Some of the cons, I'm thinking about my parents in this example. So this won't be so good for people over the age of 65, whereas people in this demographic tend to enjoy face-to-face communication because of the sense of community, intimacy, friendships, and group learning that the dynamics of talking to another person can create that perhaps a robot can't. Another negative is displaced paraprofessionals will need to learn new skills to remain relevant, or they may have to find new jobs, perhaps in a different industry. Another issue is who will fix this robot. So these new technologies will create a need for experts that perhaps don't even exist yet. Who will service the software? That's another issue. Is it the librarian? Is it another person? Or is it the librarian in partnership with another person? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Another issue is, are these robots pre-programmed to discriminate? So, for example, facial recognition software, voice recognition software, you know, not necessarily everyone in the US was born here and English is not their first language. So, for individuals that have a strong English accent, because another language is their first language, can the robot recognize their request? Also, individuals who maybe have a criminal history or are not a U.S. citizen or not registered to vote or whatever, would the robot pick that information up and provide preferential treatment based on that information to some and not others? I mean, we have yet to see that. Also, can the robot fulfill multiple requests from one person or from multiple people at the same time? You know, that's another thing. Can the robot handle complicated requests? That's another thing that has to be, I guess, tested. Another major concern, I think, is regarding consumer patron data. So, for example, when the patron comes into the library, what is their activity? What kind of books? What kind of research questions are they asking for? How long are they staying in the library? So, all of this data, how is that data stored? How is that data used? Is that data going to be sold to a private company to meet budget gaps in the library, in the library? Is that ethical? Is that not ethical? So these are all questions I think we need to ask ourselves as information professionals. Um, so moving on. So the Maryland Library System is bringing virtual reality to library patrons. I think that virtual reality will definitely be used. I mean, now it's being used for gaming, um, but I think in the near future it's going to be used for more than just gaming. So I think employment training, medical education, perhaps a portion of your high school education, advertising, obviously gaming. The instructional design industry is going to be affected with this, and as a result, more engaging college courses will be created, and and of course, college students and teachers will benefit from this. The travel sector as well. So, for example, people who are elderly, perhaps mobile impaired in a wheelchair. Let's say someone wants to go on a trip to Machu Picchu, but maybe they can't because their health doesn't permit them to climb stairs, or financially they can't afford it. So they can, visit Machu Picchu from the comfort of their own home. So that might create new jobs, which is a good thing. Um, so I think the use of virtual reality will bring the same questions as for the robots. Information professionals will have to teach others how to use these platforms, how to navigate all the software, um, and yet the same questions arise. How is consumer library patron data collected? How is it stored and how is it used? I think as librarians we need to inform our library patrons about their information rights, responsibilities, regarding the use of these devices and software. And we also need to influence lawmakers to pass laws that reflect the needs of contemporary society to protect our library patrons' interests from large corporations infringing on our patrons' personal data rights. So that's it for today. Have a good one.